I got the babysitting job through a neighbor. She said a woman named Carolyn had just moved into the area with her 6-year-old son, Milo. Carolyn worked night shifts at the hospital and needed someone to watch her son on Saturday nights. It sounded simple enough. Milo was quiet, liked cartoons, and went to bed early. When I met Caroline, she was kind, but seemed tense, like someone who hadn't slept in a while. Before she left that first night, she walked me through the house. Everything was neat, recently unpacked boxes still sitting in the corner of the living room. There was just one rule she made sure to repeat: do not open the basement door. She said the lock was faulty and it could get stuck. I nodded and made a mental note to leave it alone. The evening went smoothly. I made Milo some mac and cheese, and we watched a few episodes of an old cartoon show. By 9, he was yawning and ready for bed. I read him a short story and tucked him in. He was a sweet kid, didn't give me any trouble. I settled on the couch with my phone and some leftover cookies Caroline had baked. It was quiet, peaceful, until I heard a soft click. I looked toward the hallway and noticed the basement door, clearly shut when I arrived, was now slightly ajar. I frowned, got up, and gently pushed it closed. The lock clicked when I turned it, and just to be cautious, I gave the knob a quick test. Secure. No big deal. But half an hour later, I heard it again. Click. The door was open. Not wide open, just a few inches, but it was enough to send a chill down my spine. I stood at the threshold and stared into the pitch-black stairwell. The air was colder there, still heavy. I closed the door, and this time, wedged a chair tightly under the knob, before heading back to the living room. Around midnight, I got up to check on Milo. When I walked into his room, it felt colder than it should have. The window was wide open even though I had locked it earlier. I shut it, double-checked the latch, and tucked the blanket around him. Then I noticed the carpet. There were dirty footprints on it. They looked like someone had been walking with muddy boots, starting at the window and stopping right beside Milo's bed. But his white socks were clean, and there were no smudges on his feet. My heart began to race. I backed out of the room and turned down the hallway. The basement door was open again. And the chair, the one I had shoved tightly under the doorknob, was lying on the floor sideways. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just stared into that blackness, feeling something watching me from below. I grabbed my phone and called Carolyn. She answered on the first ring, her voice breathless. "Is the door open again?" She asked without me saying a word. "Yeah. How did you take Milo and get out right now?" That was all she said. I didn't question it. I scooped Milo out of bed, carried him half asleep, and confused out the front door, and sat with him on the porch. It was freezing, but I didn't care. Caroline pulled up 20 minutes later. She didn't speak. She looked pale, exhausted. She handed me a check and thanked me for taking care of her son. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You don't have to come back." I didn't argue. A few days later, I was talking to the neighbor who'd first mentioned Caroline. She told me the house had belonged to Caroline's parents. Her father had died in that basement, fell down the stairs one night, but there were always rumors that it wasn't an accident, that something darker had happened. Some neighbors said his presence never left. Some even claimed to hear footsteps at night. Carolyn never confirmed it, but she never denied it either. All I know is this: I'll never take a babysitting job again, not if it comes with a locked basement and a whisper of the past lingering in the shadows.